maybe need a little help on with that.
Yeah.
Okay, so
I would
that,
love to look and make sure it's going
Mr. Crane,
Good morning, everyone. My name is Pete Curdy. I am the principal of Glacier Ridge, and this is my 8th year being here at Glacier Ridge. I would like to first say a few thank yous before we officially begin. First, thank you to the 5th grade teachers. They have done a phenomenal job this year, and I know it has been an extremely difficult year, but thank you to Mr. Nemeth and Ms. McKay and Ms. Yates, who have done a fantastic job, whether in person or remote. So, boys and girls, please, a huge round of applause for our teachers. Families, we wouldn't be here without you. So thank you for your support this year during this difficult year. And I know a lot has fallen on you as parents. So thank you. We appreciate your support and your positivity and encouragement, whether in person or remote. So boys and girls, huge round of applause for the families. And a thank you to everyone, families and staff included, for your flexibility about being indoors. The weather was not ideal, and that certainly is par for the course this year as we have navigated very difficult challenges. So I appreciate your understanding. It is not ideal. We wish we could be outside. We wish it could be a normal ceremony. So hopefully you are enjoying the ceremony online. And then also a thank you to JP and Kelly Axelband and all of the rest of the support staff who have really helped with this planning. It is hard to do this planning last minute or in a different way than we normally do. So thank you for all of their logistics and planning, especially as we navigate. And then families, as you may or may not know, if you saw my email last night and this morning, we will have the bell ceremony immediately following. So if you would like to meet us here right after this ceremony, you're welcome to do so, or you're welcome to do it at another time. Boys and girls, each year I have a parting speech for the 5th grade class. It's a little bit of a dad lecture or a dad-ism, but I'm going to give it to you anyway. And try not to fall asleep. And the Grinch, with his Grinch feet, ice in the snow, stood puzzling and puzzling. How could it be so? It came without ribbons. It came without tags. It came without packages, boxes, or bags. And he puzzled and puzzled till his puzzler was sore. You may have recognized that quote from the Grinch movie. This school year certainly has made my, and probably your, puzzler sore. Similar to the Grinch that stole Christmas, it feels like COVID stole our school year and that the experiences that typically go along with it. It was a year of can'ts and don'ts and rules and regulations, differences and obstacles, including today. COVID almost literally stole our parties, traditional celebrations, promotion, holiday post office, and so much more. It's hard to think about all of the things that COVID took from us this year. Now, spoiler alert, I'm going to give you some of the plot of the movie. So if you haven't seen the Grinch movie, first, where have you been? There are 2 versions of it. And second, if you don't want to hear the plot, just tune me out, which many of you probably have done already. If you remember in that movie, the Grinch had a devious plan to destroy and eliminate the happiness of all the residents of Whoville. He goes around taking all of the holiday items and presents and decorations and anything that would be fun and joyous and celebratory. His goal was to make everyone as grouchy and unhappy as he was. Now, if you recall, his plan did not work. Instead, the town of Whoville joined together, supported one another, and found joy in the little things that were truly meaningful. The town sang and danced and spent time together. They celebrated each other's company and cared for one another. They focused on what was truly important, people. Not only that, but did you notice that none of them were mad at the Grinch? The people of Whoville had empathy and compassion for the Grinch, even though he was unhappy and tried to destroy their happiness. I'd like to think that the GRE community is the town of Whoville. When things became difficult because of COVID, and COVID tried to steal our happiness, we came together to support one another, had empathy and kindness, and found joy in the important things. The staff of GRE focused on building connections this year. In a year of distancing, separation, and keeping to yourself, we focused on building connections. So, you are all the residents of Whoville. You had to persevere this year despite things being taken away. We often preach to you about flexibility and perseverance and creativity and innovation. At each turn this year, something was different or constantly changing. Think back to how you learned this year. Online, orientation days, hybrid, full return for the in-person students. That took flexibility. For remote students, you've been learning online the entire year. Many of you not even seeing your teacher face-to-face. That takes perseverance. All students had to complete assignments in a new way. Collaboration looked completely different than in the past. Lunch and recess were different at school. RLA students even had their own recess. All of these examples are items that COVID stole from you. However, as the residents of Whoville, what did you do? You remained positive, and you learned from those experiences. You learned how to innovate and create. You learned how to problem solve on your own. You learned how to connect with others in different ways. You learned how to persevere when things became difficult. You learned how to remain kind and empathetic when things weren't always going right. These are things that many adults struggle with. In the end of the movie, you know that the Grinch's heart grows 3 sizes bigger. Why does it happen? Because he learns from the residents of Whoville. Believe it or not, we learned a lot from you this year. We learned that kids often have more resilience than adults. We learned that you can find joy in a lunch period where you're sitting 6 feet away from your friends. We learned that you can still develop close friendships, even when you only play with them, with the people in your class at recess. We learned you can still connect with others, even when you can't see them in person. Plus, we learned a lot of technology tips from you because you're probably better than us. So in the end, I thank you. Thank you for allowing adults to learn from you. Doesn't mean that we're not smarter than a 5th grader. However, I'm saying that we can all learn from one another, and we can all learn from kids. I also thank the Glacier Ridge families and the community. This was hard for everyone this year. We thank you for collaborating with us to support your children. We thank you for your trust, and thank you for your kindness and empathy. So, 5th graders, good luck next year. Take what you've learned this year and take it with you. You'll need the knowledge that we imparted to you, but more importantly, you'll need the life skills that you learned to survive this year. You'll need to take the skill of finding joy when someone tries to steal your happiness. You'll need the flexibility and innovation when there's a roadblock in your way. You'll need the kindness and empathy, even when somebody is acting like the Grinch. Those will be the skills that you'll likely never forget. Oh, and if you haven't seen the Grinch movie, just go see it. Thank you, good luck next year, and forever. Now, boys and girls and families, a few logistics as we transition to reading the names and giving the certificates. We will read the student's name and they'll come up front and you should be able to see them on the camera. They will then pass in front and go up behind me on the stage. So boys and girls, remember, when you're up on stage, you're still on camera. When we read the name, please hold your applause. Don't clap until the very end as we do the whole class. And then families, we will have the bell ringing ceremony directly afterwards. So once we read all the names, we'll go directly outside to ring the bell afterwards. However, you're always welcome to come back and ring the bell and take pictures as needed. So one last thank you. It's been a pleasure to serve you children. It's been a pleasure to collaborate with you families. And I'd like to introduce you to the graduating class of 2028. Congratulations. I'd now like to introduce Mr. Nemeth, who will read the certificates and student names for his class.
Emma Bernstein. Audrey Cargill. Rylan Conrad. Managna Damaraju. Kavya Gundrathi. Joseph Gout. Shravya Cullen. Aryan Kewala. Keshav Kausik. Aryan Kubrahi. Ethan Luke. Zaire Mateo Cruz. Ashley Park. Anaya Rout. Soha Sadhu. Paki Sharma. Corinne Strahoda. Adela Sullivan. Sharanya Sunil. Sanjana Vempeti. Sri Varun Visa Maroon. Robin Wang.
Hey, Robin.
Anna Wiemeyer. Ellie Wiemeyer. Lin Shu. Deeksha Garajan.
Round of applause for Mr. Nemeth RLA class.
Yeah. I'm sorry, Deeksha. I always make that mistake.
Right, 1, 2, 3. Nice job, guys.
Okay, Mr. Nemeth will lead you on out. If you want to follow Mr. Nemeth, the first row and then the second row, follow right on out. We'll do the bell ceremony. We will now call the student names once Mr. Nemeth's class exit of Miss Yates and Miss McKay. Bushra Basha. Sahasra Femineni. Zain Dewani. Nandini Donapudi. Crayon Guram. Jamin Jid. Prasida Pinchetti. Kurti Katari. Kriti Katari. Ishan Mastoli. Siri Madella. Sanchari Mirjakar. Gori Nair. Anish Namalapudi. Zoe Ogra. Shazva Pasha. Viraj Patel. And Jason Yee. Round of applause for Miss McKay and Miss Yates students. Okay, got it, guys. Nice job. We'll have the first row come on down and we'll go outside and ring the bell. Thank you, families. It has been a pleasure. Thank you for joining us online, whether you were online or in person for the bell ringing ceremony. It has been a pleasure serving you and your children. We very much appreciate your support. Logistics, if you'd like to sign them out, you're welcome to sign them out this morning. Otherwise, they will be dismissed as usual at the 12:25 bell. However, if you have RLA students that you'd like to pick up, you can do that now. Thank you.